Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another exciting STEM event at College of the Albemarle. My name is Lepre'Copter, and I am the interim department chair for mathematics and engineering. And I have tonight with me.
Hi there, I'm Todd Kruger. I'm the department chair of the natural sciences.
And tonight we are going to learn about a Lepre'Copter and what makes helicopters fly. And I've always wondered, like, I hate getting on airplanes and helicopters, but Mr. Kruger, can you tell us all about that?
Well, sure. If you don't know what keeps helicopters and airplanes up in the air, that's a difficult question. So what we're making tonight, if I can show you the finished product, I'm going to show you what we're about to make together. This is what we call a Lepre'Copter, as a leprechaun on a helicopter. So what does this do? Well, let's show you what it does right up front so we can all figure out what we're aiming for. If you hold this way up high and then drop it, you're going to get a spinning, twirling helicopter to play with at home. So our question is, how do we make it? Let's go ahead and make one first, and then we'll tell them how it works.
Okay, well, at home you should already have your materials. You have your Lepre'Copter on the cardstock paper, so pull out the one that's on the heavier paper. You'll need 4 paper clips, scissors, tape, and a penny. And you'll also need some crayons. Hopefully you've colored your leprechaun already. If not, the Leprechaun gives you instructions on what colors to use. Roy G. Biv, have you guys ever heard of Roy G. Biv? It helps you memorize the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, blue, violet, and indigo. So find those in your crayon stash and have fun coloring. But let's go ahead and start making our Lepre'Copter.
All right, so what do we do first?
First thing, we're going to cut him out.
Okay, let's do that.
Yes.
You notice this is a nice heavy paper. So this should make a nice sturdy copter, but if you want to make more of these, ordinary paper will work too. Maybe at the end we can test which kind of paper works better.
That sounds exciting, Mr. Kruger.
All right.
You guys be patient with me. I wonder if you guys are finished cutting before I am.
I bet we have a lot of people cutting this out with you. So.
Yeah. Almost there. Yay, I'm finished.
All right.
So once you cut it, the first thing that you're going to do is get some tape, and you're going to fold the sides back.
Okay.
So fold your sides back, and then you can secure them with some tape.
Okay. Here's some tape for you.
Thank you. And then the bottom you're also going to take, and you're going to fold that back as well and secure that with tape.
Okay. All right. Once that's taped up, I think we have one more cut to make.
Yes, we're going to cut between Roy G. Biv to make our Lepre'Copter fly. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the honors with
Okay, I'd be happy to. So, final step for this. You did a good job cutting. This is very nice. See that dotted line right down the middle of your Lepre'Copter? You're going to take one of these flaps and fold it forward. And you're going to take the other flap and fold it backwards. Right. Doesn't have to be right on the dotted line, but if it's close, that's good. And now you have your finished Lepre'Copter. All right, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, you want to test it out and see if it works?
Sure.
All right.
You ready? Let's drop her.
Oh, well, we got a couple of
happened?
turns in there. But
Yeah, I didn't have too many turns. Why don't you give it a
I
shot?
think we may have forgotten one of the parts of our
You know
Lepre'Copter.
what? I think it needs a paper clip. It needs something
Yeah.
sturdy, right?
Might need something a little heavier to help
Yes.
this fall in a clever way. Do you want to attach that paper clip for us?
Put a paper clip on.
All right, let's try it
Can we
again.
drop? 1, 2, 3. Bottoms down.
Oh, we got a little more twirling to it. So play around with this. It might take 2 paper clips, 3 paper clips. If you have a penny, maybe you tape a coin to this circle you see at the bottom of the Lepre'Copter. Try a variety of different things and see if any of those combinations make your Lepre'Copter work best. But the real question here is, why does this twirl at all? What makes things like this Lepre'Copter fly? So if you've ever been around airplanes and helicopters, you may have already wondered this. What keeps those helicopters up in the air in the first place? Right? Most objects don't fly. If I took a ball and just dropped it right here, 3, 2, 1, drop, that doesn't fly. But you already knew that, right? This isn't a flying object. What if I took just an ordinary sheet of blank white paper? If I drop that, is it going to do exactly the same thing as the ball did? Let's see. 3, 2, 1, drop. Oh, well, it still fell, but look how much slower it falls than the ball. 3, 2, 1, drop. Oh, yeah. This is much slower than this. There's still a force of gravity pulling everything down, but why did this fall so much slower than the ball? There's one thing that makes these two objects much different. Look how small this area is. Look how big this area is. The bigger the area, the more air it catches as it's trying to fall down to the ground. If you want to prove that, what happens if I take this paper and crumble it up into a ball shape? Now I have two objects that are about the same size. And if I drop these together, 3, 2, 1, drop, they hit the ground at almost the same time. So what helps things fly? Well, you need a big area. So if you have an airplane, you're going to need something on that airplane to give you a huge area to keep that air supporting the whole craft and keep the airplane up in the air. What on this airplane is going to give you a huge surface area? Well, it's these things. These two things sticking out the side of airplanes, those are wings, and those are designed to catch as much air as possible so that the air supports you and keeps the airplane up in the air. But we didn't make an airplane, we made a copter. We have a helicopter, which looks more like this. This doesn't have any wings sticking out the side of it. Might have a little wing in the back to keep it supported, keep the helicopter moving in the right direction, but there's no giant wing sticking out the side of my helicopter. So what is it that's keeping this helicopter up in the air? Well, turns out what the helicopter has instead of wings is this huge device on top. This is one long, lightweight object that rotates very quickly. It's basically like an airplane wing, but we rotate it so fast that it catches a lot of air and keeps this helicopter up in the air. That's exactly what we're doing here. We have this device, which we call a rotor. It catches so much air as it spins around that it slows that pull of gravity and adds a lot of lift force to keep this object up in the air. So if we have a Lepre'Copter, like you just made here, and we have these two sort of like wings, but we're going to call it a rotor. When I drop this, 3, 2, 1, drop, it starts to twirl as it falls. Lets that rotor catch as much air as possible to keep it aloft. So if you want to color your Lepre'Copter, you can actually see some of those rainbow stripes, some of that red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet colors. You can actually see those swirling and blending together if I drop this. Oh, look at that. Tons of color as that rotor twists all the way down. Okay. All right, so now we know what keeps helicopters up in the air.
Wasn't that exciting? And guess what? The fun doesn't have to stop, because at home you have another mini Lepre'Copter that you can try at home. So go ahead and color that, try it, and then let's make a hypothesis. Do you think that the cardstock Lepre'Copter will fall faster, or do you think the one made out of paper? I want to hear what you think.
That's a good question. Let's try tweaking all the different parts of your Lepre'Copter. What happens if you want your Lepre'Copter to spin in the opposite direction? What do you think you could do to these little rotor wings up here to make this Lepre'Copter spin in the opposite direction? Try it out. See what you can do.
All right, and we also have another treat for you tonight. We have Ms. Leah Jones. She is an associate professor of academic foundations in English, and she has an exciting leprechaun story to share with us.
Right, so today I'm going to be reading How to Catch a Leprechaun. It's written by Adam Wallace and the pictures are by Andy Elkerton. So this book relies on some leprechaun legends. The idea is that you can catch a leprechaun, you get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So a bunch of kids are going to try to catch this leprechaun, and we get to see whether they are successful. And you can make your own plans for how to catch a leprechaun. So let's get started. The night is dark, the streets are quiet. St. Patrick's Day is near. I tap my hammer so you'll know the leprechaun is here. I'll pull out all your laces, put glitter in your hair. And when you walk around, you'll see my gold coins everywhere. You see her with, she has the glitter in her hair, and he doesn't have any shoelaces. The leprechaun has stolen his shoelaces. You'll never catch me in your trap, but yes, I'll make a scene. I'll turn the whole place upside down. Your toilet will be green. See the little green leprechaun handprints? He's made a huge mess. House number 1, I'm going in. Really? That's your trap? I'm in and out without a doubt. That one was a snap. Looks like they've used some kind of giant mouse trap to try to catch that leprechaun. Here's another one. And now I think it's getting worse. A shoebox on a stick? I'll dance a jig and still escape. We leprechauns are quick. You can see they've set up a little box over here with a little stick to pull out when the leprechaun gets in the box. Another house. I fixed your shoes. They really were quite smelly. I'll eat the nuts you left as bait and leave with a full belly. Look what he has done to these kids' shoes. He has put them in the kitchen sink, and you see the water overflowing onto the floor. Now you're talking. Look at this. A dandelion tea. But I'm too speedy for your trap. This tea is mine for free. This guy's got kind of an elaborate web, but that leprechaun has taken the tea. Now, the legend is that leprechauns are supposed to not like iron. So this next kid gets really creative. I know you want my pot of gold. That iron cage was clever. But I've been alive for 200 years. You won't catch me ever. Oh no. This little boy has ended up inside the iron cage he had for the leprechaun. This next one is my favorite. Ha 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 ha. Now you're getting fancy. But I'll escape with twinkle toes. It's a fancy pantsy dancy. This child is shooting her stuffed unicorns at the leprechaun using a slingshot she has rigged up on her bed. That's creative. It seems to me an engineer has helped with this design. Too bad this little leprechaun is going to be just fine. They've set up an elaborate trap. It looks like maybe this grown-up got gotten by the trap instead of the leprechaun. Your entire house is one big trap. Look at this one. From ceiling to the floor. Nice try indeed, but soon enough I'll stroll right out the door. The sign says, totally safe place for leprechauns. I don't know about that. Uh-oh. The Leprechaun Be Gone 3000, I think that's this robot here, gave me quite a scare. But without a four-leaf clover, I won't be caught in there. You'll never catch this leprechaun. Impossible, that's a fact. Unless one day a brilliant child designs the perfect trap. But who could that child be? See, they're making some plans. Better luck next year. So you can decide if you want to build your own leprechaun trap and try to catch a leprechaun this St. Patrick's Day.
What you can do. All right. Well, that was fun.
Well, we thank you guys for joining us for another exciting STEM night. And tonight, again, we learned about Lepre'Copters, and COA has so many interesting programs to learn about science, engineering, and math. So
including an aviation program. If
Yes.
you're interested in aircrafts and helicopters and planes, come on down to College of the Albemarle and we will teach you all about it.
Well, you guys, thank you again for joining us, and you have a wonderful evening.
Good night.
Good night.